anyone in their career actually has a perfect day.
I think you do. I think you have maybe 3 in your whole career.
Yeah, right.
And that's what you keep chasing. So once you have that first time, you're absolutely chasing it for the rest of the time, and then all of a sudden you'll have another. But I do think it's relative to, a little bit relative to how the day pans out. Like you could have a perfect day and be 10th and you wouldn't recognize it as a perfect day.
Yeah, right.
Right? So I think a win is usually, but you can have really crappy days and still win.
Yeah,
I mean, I know those people.
Yeah.
It's not me. I know them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No, but yeah, so I do think you do have days where you're like, wow, everything came together today.
Yeah.
Even if it's just how the race panned out for you, that kind of thing.
Yeah. How many perfect days have you had?
I have had, where in a sense where you go into the race and you have, okay, these are the things I want to have happen for me today. Had those, probably 3 or 4.
Yeah. I'll see you at that name.
I'm done. I might as well stop now. I'm ahead.
Obviously, because you've got the short course background, like that's been the majority of your career.
That is my career. I'm trying my hand in this long stuff, but
so you're not going to do the same amount of years.
Yeah, exactly. I am out of time.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy enough, I wish I would have switched a lot sooner, but I think what drives me, like I probably should have switched in 09 to long course. I really should have. I mean, looking back, but we did do Augusta that year, and Greg and I, that was my first half, and I think he had done one like 10 years before that.
Yeah.
And that night, we both had won. Yeah. And that night, I rolled over in bed and said, first of all, I had to lift my legs over in bed because we were well underprepared for it at the time.
Yeah.
And just really went off fitness and not muscular strength and stuff like that. And we were like, that wasn't fun. And when you don't find it fun and you're winning, that's not a good idea. So, I just, and in some ways you think, well, maybe you should have really thought it through a little bit better. Like we know the sport, we know the dynamics of the people, we know I think in some ways where you figured out where your time was.
Yeah.
And in the sense of when I say your time, it's kind of like when you were really in the mix all the time. Like in the top 3 or 4 all the time. And I didn't realize mine was probably 04 to 08, 05 to 08, until you're out of it. Because you're always driving to be the best, like you don't notice that, wow, I am a player. And you get to the other side of it when you're getting 5ths to 8ths, like how I was between 09 and 12, and realize, shit, this isn't my time. That was my time,
Wow.
But not that you could do much more than you were doing. I mean, I was trying to be the best I could be, and we have different strengths and weaknesses, so it kind of worked out. I saw where we could. I mean, I definitely was very helpful for Greg, and he's got strength, he's got endurance. He knows once that gun goes off, he knows exactly what he's doing. But I think before the race, he really beats himself up and loses confidence and stuff. And so just having that support to tell him, look, I've seen what you're doing. I know you as an athlete, and you've got all it takes. Just stop thinking, overthinking it before a race and everything. And so I think that helped him a lot with expectation and getting himself to the starting line less stressed and having a lot more fun and everything. And for me with him, and he probably brought a little bit more structure. I get distracted pretty easily, and I love the sport and what it's offered me, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest sport in the world. I think it was a place for me. I feel like I have athleticism, but I didn't find any other sport that I would have stuck with or whatever. And so triathlon, just getting into it as a kid and everything with my family, and swimming and running all through high school, and then swimming in college. I think it was more, I kind of just fell back into it after university. And so, but I really think that my strengths probably played a bigger role in short course racing. Like I have agility, power, speed, but I get injured easily because if you don't do the aerobic capacity build up and all of that, and the strength building slowly, which a lot of times you get distracted with, oh my God, I got to race in March. So you rush everything. And I think if that's one of the downfalls I've had in my career is kind of having that patience. And I have a lot of patience for other people compared to other athletes. And I still didn't have enough to stay uninjured a lot of the time. So pretty much my whole career I was 6 months on, 6 months off.
Wow.
And then basically when Greg and I took over the program from 05 to the beginning of 08, I was uninjured for that period of time, and that was the first time I had a block like that I would stay. I mean, you'd have little nigglies pop up, you know, that you'd have to take 3 weeks off here and that sort of thing, but not like build up, get injured, and then have to come back down again. And so, and really one of the main things we changed was I didn't train with anyone. Because I love to race, I would race every day and try to get better, or I can go beyond my means because I have the speed power, but I don't have the strength endurance to hold it. So, you know, I can get up there and then I come flying back, and, you know, things get tight and everything. And we also met a great chiropractor out of Florida, Alex Keith, who helped us out a ton and taught us some like Graston, and we worked with him tons all the way through that period, and he kept us uninjured as well. And so Greg's happy to share how he did at the training session, and he wants to talk about training all day long or whatever at triathlon. That was an adjustment I had to make. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. We've already done it. But I think by doing so, we've learned a lot more about the sport and understanding it and knowing everything about it and knowing the players, knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are. Because really, you got a lot of sacrifices. You know, when you're bringing two professional athletes together, and they're trying to, and we're different athletes, you know, trying to progress at the highest level at the same time, you know, and having nobody else involved. You know, it's pretty intense, and it was, you know, but I think you give and take, and for the most part, I think us coming together, we were good athletes, and I think coming together made ourselves, whatever great we are greats, you know, not great on everybody's perspective, but great for us, you know, and so I think we've maximized our capabilities and still, you know, kept the relationship together, I think.
Well done.
I'd love to see what I can do in this long course stuff, but I'm not unrealistic with it. You know, ITU racing was not about the bike. And this has got 5 hours of it. I mean, it's really weighted towards the bike. And so, and the time trial bike, which is totally different as well. That's been a hassle for me to try to get organized. So the transition for me into long course has not been smooth, and my stomach is not made of iron. That's enough. There's plenty of reasons that I shouldn't be doing long, but I do enjoy the challenge. Go. So probably the worst racing experience I've had that was embarrassing was racing for a team in France, Roubaix, and flying over there. So I think it was the first one I did in Dunkirk, and I get in there and I'm trying to set up my stuff, and they're like, oh, can we have you quickly for just a quick interview? And so you kind of get sidetracked, and then, you know, I didn't have a ton of time before the start, and so I put all my stuff out and do the interview. Then I always have to find a toilet before the race. It's just stock standard. And so I'm racing around to get that done, put my suit on, and we start the race. And, you know, really with most of the racing I've done at that point is World Cups, and if you get a flat, you're pretty much done. You're not getting back in to a position where it's worthwhile continuing to race. And so we start the race. We're in a good position, and with the French Grand Prix, there's, I think it's 3 or 4 girls on the team, and it's kind of like cross country where your points all add up, so the positions you're in, and so everybody finishing is important. Okay, I didn't know that. So we're out in the race, and one of the girls on our team gets a flat, and I'm like, poor thing. Shit. Okay, so now what does that mean for our team? So anyway, we just keep racing. And you know, when you're coming into transition, you're kind of taking your mind through, okay, I'm coming into transition this way. I'm going to getting ready for the run. What do I'm going to relax. This is how I'm putting my shoes on. This is what else I'm grabbing. And so I'm going through that process, and I go, visualize my running shoes. They're not there. I forgot to put my running shoes out. I've flown all the way to France. This is like the first time I'm racing for this team. Oh, no. I was so embarrassed. So I think, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I look over, and the girl that had a flat, her running shoes are there. And I'm like, well, she's done. I'll just take her shoes.
Oh my God.
So I grab her shoes and I try it on and they fit. I'm like, sweet. I got this. No, I got this. This is good. I'm recovering here. I'm recovering. The two lap run. Come around the second time, or the first time, and the girls made it. She corrected her flat. She got a new wheel.
Yeah.
She's coming to transition. She can't find her running shoes.
Oh my God.
She is freaking out, crying, like, what's happened? Blah blah blah. Oh my God, I felt so horrible. I like run by, my tail's under, my head's down. No, make eye contact. Just keep going. Just have a good race, otherwise it's really gonna get bad. And so I see the manager again, and I go like this, and he's like, "What? What have you done?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." Everybody knows about the set.
No, not everyone does. That's why you're here, to educate.
72-hour rule.
72 hours for guys.
Guys cannot have sex within 72 hours of racing. No sex. Girls, morning of, awesome. Makes us strong. It wakes us up. That's why you don't have sex at night. Guys want it at night? You say no. Morning time. They want to go to sleep. They go to sleep afterwards. We wake up afterwards.
Wow, I've never thought about it.
It's true, isn't it? It's true.
Wow. It's so true.
It's like energizes us, and for them, they're like, okay, what's up? Okay.
So that's
Just
why
go to sleep.
afternoon delight
That's it.
is probably perfect to meet in the middle ground.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Afternoon delight.
Sporting world.
People, you're doing it wrong. But I got to know the Portalettes really well.
Nice.
Frequented those guys.
Portalettes. Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Porta Johns.
Portaloos here.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Going to the loo.
Australia.